Actual Republic, affairs of state in Oklahoma, the beliefs, principles, opinions, and views of people just like me. This is 3D Politics. We've got a loosey-goosey team tonight. David Van, creator and curator of Sooner Politics, is out by the pool. And you've got me, your fantastic Verbal Viking host, humorist and mood director. We've got a special guest coming in at about 7 o'clock, Kevin Batts, who was with us at the exciting Freedom Rally. Tonight's show is all about the Freedom Rally update. David Oldham, of course, continues to jet set across the Midwest, I guess, and off and about he goes at Constitutional Grounds. Don't forget to find David Oldham and all things constitutional at constitutionalgrounds.com with David Oldham, who's not here tonight. But Van, now we missed you. What were you doing during the Freedom Rally?
My wife told me I had family duties, and that's about all I'm going to say on that.
Well,
but and my family duties continue because what you can't see on the other side of the camera is a bunch of kids with their noses up against the patio sliding door, you know, doing Miss Piggy at me right now. But my wife is in there with them, and yes, okay.
All right.
And so anyway, yes, this is family time for me, and there's nothing better than being a grandpa. Don't you know what I mean, Tom?
I'm getting ready to learn it day by day. I've got to get back over there. I've been on the run for the last 2 weeks, but Kevin Batts is in the waiting room. And he was also at the Freedom Rally, Clay Clark's Freedom Rally, Jackson Lawmeyer running against James Lankford. Let's bring Kevin Batts in right now and see if we can see him. Kevin Batts, are you there? Let's see if we can get him to connect to the audio.
Yeah.
See if we can hear him.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
There's the man.
Nice to see you again, Kevin.
Good to see y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, as we get started, before we get rolling into discussion, let's remind everybody who you are and where you are so that they know how to find you, so that I don't try to remember it all. Tell them who you are, where to find you, and get in contact with you, Kevin Batts.
All right. I'm from Project 46. Our show is called Red River TV, and Project 46 is a network that me and my friend Miles Rahimi is starting to basically bring a conservative type network where a lot of different conservative channels can come together under one roof and hopefully have enough resources to do the things we want to do to affect the national or even the local political scene.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That wasn't good enough. Kevin, you're one of the best video makers in politics today. And I can't let you dog yourself. You're bearing the lead, man. This is campaign season. I need my friends who are running for office or run for another term to know this is the man right there, Kevin Batts. He'll make your videos and make them look good. Make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Well, I'll tell you, that's my motto, man. I try to make people look good. That's what I've been doing all day long today. Is I've been running around Oklahoma City shooting videos all day. So I just
I make my level. I sat in front of a pool. If people don't like me, at least they'll like the pool behind me.
Dan didn't do anything. So that's good to know. So Kevin Batts, you shoot fine, high quality video for candidates, commercials, etc. Huh?
Yes, sir, I do. They can find us at Red River TV on Facebook. They can just look up Red River TV on Facebook, or Project 46 on Facebook, or project46.com. Definitely reach out, and we can definitely discuss the project that you're working on. And if it's not political, if it's a church, we definitely doing that. We're getting into education type videos for people that want to do their own, that are trying to make modules and things for different things they're trying to do, like homeschooling, or whether it be self-care. We're working with a guy right now that's trying to do some modules for police officers and mental health. So we're doing that right now. But we got a lot of projects in the hopper right now. But if you're looking to get in on that, definitely reach out at Red River TV.
Excellent. Yep. Red River TV. So let's get to the rally. You know, us media type, we were trapped in the media room. It was fine and pleasant and well cool in there with all the finest amenities you could have and personalities. I was there. And so, but you know, you were out in you got to see some of the action of the speeches. I saw very little of that. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, Vichacek. The young man who is missing both arms.
Oh, yeah.
Was really an amazing speaker.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I saw some of him. I saw a little bit of just the very first part of Bennett, and then I had to rush back in. But what did you see on the stage with the 2,000 some odd people in there?
Well, I can tell you this. The trick of that is, if you think you're going to get trapped in the media section, just don't go in as media. That's what I did. I just did media. I just got in without being media, and I brought I brought a really good camera, but it's small. So people don't realize how good the camera is. So I can run around and get those little shots. Because we were there to film a documentary. The girls that were performing the music, Camille and.
Oh, yes, the Harrises.
Yeah. And they were there. They were shooting. They were doing the intro video. Then they were supposed to do the middle break, but they got bumped. And then they're supposed to do at the end before Lawmeyer came on. They had a song written for him. So we're doing a documentary on them right now, and we were supposed to go in there and get some shots, but we couldn't do it as media, so we had to come in as not being media. But we never got a chance to really get the shots because they were so far behind. But as far as the speakers, I mean, it was just knock your socks off. I mean, these pastors were on fire. I was telling Janelle, I was like, man, these pastors, we've been talking about for a long time how these pastors need to stand up. They need to start being those pillars in the community like they were supposed to be biblically. And I think these pastors are standing up. And you saw that. I think that was our key takeaway, is that you saw a lot of pastors go up there and just knock the freaking fire out of everybody.
Yeah, at one point, Clay Clark was making some line about, will the real pastor please stand up?
Absolutely.
And so there was, I did talk to some more liberal types back in the crowd a little bit, and they were saying, well, they're pretty religious. And one of the points I made is that we've been saying that the church has kind of failed us in the last few years. So what you're seeing, in my opinion, is the political realm's getting religious, because the religious realm is not being religious. It's kind of the same shift we've seen with Jimmy Fallon and the rest of the late night talk shows. They're not comedians anymore. They're all doing politics. People applaud instead of laugh because it's politics instead of comedy. But that was my reasoning or my logic behind why it seemed to be such a religious feeling in the room when it was a political endeavor. What do you think?
I can say this. I mean, when you see what's going on with the left, I mean, they're moved toward degeneracy, where you have adults twerking in front of children. You have them trying to introduce drag queen story time at these schools. I mean, everything they're doing, you can see the demonic forces overtaking the left. This isn't about politics anymore. Yeah. It's about them releasing these evil ideologies on our children, and they're going after the children. So it's become spiritual. They made it spiritual because it's all over them. And the thing that they're trying to do, you can even see today with the Supreme Court punting on the transgender. I don't know if you guys saw that today, that the Supreme Court punted on a case I think it was out of Virginia. And there was a case going up through the circuit courts, and the circuit court ruled that the school discriminated against him when they said he couldn't use the girls' bathroom. It was a boy that transitioned to a girl. Well, the Supreme Court said, oh, we're not going to hear that case. We're going to kick it back down to the circuit court. So essentially he won. So you see right there, boys going into the girls' bathroom, or you see the viral story that just came out a couple of days ago. It was a woman in a spa, I think it was in California. And she goes up to the front desk and she says, hey, there's a guy walking around in the back and his genitals are hanging out and my daughter's walking around. You're like, does that man identify as a woman? That's all the front desk kept asking. Does that man identify as a woman?
Oh my God.
It's disturbed. And this
then he doesn't have genitals, right? Those are genitals because I'm a woman. Yeah, right.
The question is, what does his genitals identify as? That's
exactly. Exactly.
Hey,
so you see,
speaking of all this, oh, go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't. I just said that just accentuates the point that this is a spiritual battle, and if you can't see that by now, then I don't know what to tell you. You know.
Well, right. This and that's true. It's hard to explain spiritual battle to people who aren't spiritual. They don't see it that way. But talking about all this stuff, let me just real quickly share a picture. Now, Jackson Lawmeyer is running against James Lankford. James Lankford has some personal pronouns that he likes too. And so let's just go ahead and let me try to share this picture.
I think I know what you're about to show.
Here's James Lankford, and here's his pronouns.
Something coming up?
No. How do you like that?
That looks creepy enough. That looks creepy enough on its own. That's all. That looks creepy enough on its own. He looks like.
What did you say, Van?
I think he identifies the flip-flop.
Was there some text I was supposed to see? Because I didn't see any text.
No, you were supposed to hear this.
Oh.
I don't hear anything.
The music. You didn't hear the music? It was no. It was like a Star Trek music.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Oh, it's so funny.
You're not hearing any of my audio there?
No.
No, I hear it. I hear it.
No, you're hearing some stuff he always has going in the back of the show.
Okay. Well, I can tell you.
No, sir.
I can tell you right now, Lankford identifies as a flip-flop because that's exactly what he's been in the entire time he's been there.
But I got a little tech issue here. Tell me if you can hear this audio. Right here.
I heard the Star Trek sounds.
I heard the Star Trek sounds.
That's all.
You can't hear that?
No.
Okay, well, I got tech issues. So let's go ahead and then let me share this. Let's see what we got. We just got a couple of minutes here before we. So tell me more. I've got some interview of Lawmeyer and Flynn outside. Not interview. I saw they did speeches outside, and then also interviews inside with Bennett and Lawmeyer. But before, we got just a couple of minutes before the soft break. So Kevin, tell us something else. What was the most memorable moment from the live stuff on stage? I missed most of what Lawmeyer said while he was live because I was. What was his big moment live on stage?
I didn't catch Lawmeyer's part because we had to go, but I can tell you there was a pastor that was up on stage. I'm about to find his name right now, but man, this pastor knocked the house down. It was it's a black guy. I forgot his name. But it was just unbelievable. This guy got the crowd fired up, and I mean, it just knocked the house down. And at one point we went up, I'll say his name was Pastor Leon Benjamin.
Okay.
Pastor Leon Benjamin, he totally just brought the house down. I mean, just laid the whole thing out, talking about it's time to fight, it's time to get off our tails and get out there and get to the battle.
Yeah. You know, Clay Clark has really come up with kind of a hybrid between a Trump rally and a Pentecostal camp meeting. And it's this health and faith, freedom conference, these things. And you know what? It's working. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
People are hungry for something. They want to know they're not alone. They're done shooting, holes through their TV set at home because they're so mad at what they're catching on the broadcast news. And they want to get together with some people who believe like them. It's just refreshing and encouraging.
Hey, you're listening to the voice of creator and curator of SoonerPolitics.org, David Van. And joining us tonight, Kevin Batts from Red River TV, and we're missing Oldham tonight. He's on the road, and I am your regular host here on 3D Politics every Monday night. Tommy McKay, your host, humorist, and mood director. Kevin, did you get a chance to meet Dr. Cordy Williams?
No, actually, I didn't.
Cordy Williams, he was on fire, a specimen of masculine health. This guy was amazing. He's over there at 1776foreverfree.com. And Lee Dundas. You guys familiar with Lee Dundas?
Name's familiar.
No, it sounds familiar to me.
Oldham knows her or of her name. Human rights attorney. Man,
Okay.
you start her up, and she just goes on and on. Just some golden stuff.
I know Lee Merritt spoke, and the Dr. Lee Merritt, she's probably one of the leading people that have been pushing back against COVID from a scientific perspective. Yeah. I know we had me and Project 46 had an opportunity to interview her a couple of months ago, and it's just crazy. I mean, and we all but got banned putting that video out. And I mean, that video can't be shared, just like a lot of her videos can't be shared. But the thing she's saying in that, every time she speaks, I mean, she has to get banned because the thing she's putting out is just pure facts. And she just lays facts on top of facts, on top of facts, on top of facts. You can't refute it.
Yeah.
So on Friday night, there was a get together, and I was lucky enough to be there to capture some video on my phone. And so I'm going to try to share a couple of videos that occurred the night before. Hopefully this is the one with Jackson Lawmeyer talking about how the politicos told him he could never make it with a beard and he wouldn't know how to ask money. Apparently Langford has raised $66,000 through PAC money with 113 people giving, and it's all coming from out of state. Let's see if I can share this video now.
Oh, we're not getting any audio.
Tell us what we're seeing here, Tom.
we can't hear it.
You're not hearing anything?
No. Yeah, give us a description, if you will. This is interesting.
Well, essentially, he's talking about what the politicos. I don't know why I'm not getting.
Yeah, we'll just.
He's talking about the politicos said, well, the first thing you're gonna have to do is shave your beard because the old ladies won't vote for you if you have a beard. And then he says, well, I'm going to keep my bill because they don't like 12-year-olds either. They don't want to vote for this guy. The best line I thought here was he says, they said, the real difficult thing is you're going to have to ask for money. This requires the ability to ask for money. So that's a real hard thing to do. Lawmeyer, you going to?
A lot of preachers are good at that, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's a stupid question to ask a preacher. Like, come on now.
Gonna crush
that's his life.
I'm gonna have to fin you off with a mute button until my line happens.
I'm sorry.
That's exactly what he says. He says, time out, I'm a pastor here. You guys call it donations, I call it a collection. He just it around. So
I stepped on your punchline, Tom. That's unforgivable.
But you opened us up to that one. I mean, obvious. That was so obvious.
You guys are such quick on the turn there. But if I don't have sound, you guys just trounce me. I don't know why I'm not getting my sound.
That's fine. Well, that's a good narrative. Now, this was at someone's backyard, it looks like.
Some beautiful backyard where it was all happening. And so
was that the place where somebody got up and said, we need to raise 100,000 tonight?
Yeah, Eric Zollner was up telling them we need to do this. We need to do this hard.
That was Friday night. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
So Kevin, what else did you witness that night?
I witnessed a lot of really great vendors. I mean, the vendors were really stacked up, really good. They had a lot of really great products. The people in the hall selling different items. And
give us word picture here. We don't know what the picture vendor. What does that mean?
They were selling
T-shirts.
T-shirts, hats, paintings, all different variety. I mean, they're out there selling things because a lot of those guys, a lot of those are nonprofits. A lot of those are different groups that are doing great things in the area.
Yeah, and you know what? You're going to find things at events like this through vendors that you won't find other places. So I agree. Anytime you're going to something like that, check those booths out. You're going to find things that you say, man, couldn't find that. Never thought anybody would make such a thing, you know?
Right.
Yeah. You know, especially T-shirts, bumper stickers.
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
you get some golden ones there.
And I will say this is a good place to go. Like if you're around the house, you're looking for somebody to paint the house, you're looking for somebody to mow the lawn, or little odds and ends, and you're looking for places to do business with. If you're trying to get your taxes done, and you can meet all kinds of people that are in different kinds of fields. And what I've been saying to people around me is that, why are you doing business with these big conglomerates or people you don't even know, faceless corporations? Why not mingle at places like this and figure out where people are working and see if you can do business with other conservatives? The left does it. The left doesn't have a problem doing business with other people that are like-minded. There's nothing wrong with putting money into us creating our own network of businesses where we all help each other out and get services. And it's not a handout. You're actually getting a service out of the deal from like-minded people.
And I can guarantee you, if you hire the people that Home Depot or Lowe's says will install this appliance free, you're not going to get the best quality. You're definitely not going to get the best price. So yeah, I agree. It's time that the people on the right organized, we come together, we collaborate, we scheme, we plan.
Absolutely.
We have to communicate. That's why media such as what Kevin's been doing for years, instead of politics and now 3D politics, you know, all these things. And you know, the what do you call yourself? The Viking what, Tom?
I'm the verbal Viking.
The verbal Viking.
I'm the perspicuous plunderer of conversation. I'll tell you what.
There you go.
Let's try to share this one more time for the tech issue. I've got another clip. This is General Flynn outside if it works.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I hear something for a second.
Heard it for a second.
Nope.
Oh.
Might have been Tom.
No?
Nope.
Nope.
Somebody tell me, no? Can you hear it? Yes or no?
No. Flynn's a sharp-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is. He's buff.
Warrior.
He's fit. He's
I don't know.
I can tell you right now. I spent 10 years in the military, and I tell you right now, just the looks of that guy, you can always tell when you're dealing with somebody who was a killer. And when we say that as a compliment. We mean that as a sharp individual that you want to go to battle with, because that person's he's gonna execute. And he definitely strikes me as the type of leader that I would have been really happy to be under his command had I been overseas. You can always tell the types of people who are going to be, you know, trouble when you get downrange. And just seeing him throughout the years and watching how he's dealt with all these different things and watch how he moves, even behind the scene at the event, just watching him walk around and talk to people, you can tell this is the type of guy that you wanted to go to battle with. And it's a shame that people like him, we don't have more people like him in the military. Instead, we get guys like we have now that are trying to institute all these different woke ideologies into the military. That's definitely going to be corrosive and not good for military cohesiveness.
After what the FBI did to try to take him out, colluding at the very top, conspiracy to destroy this man, it's all now documented. Why in the world we still even have an agency called the FBI is beyond me. Because that entire agency needs to be disbanded, melted down, and reforged into something that's actually credible and honoring our Constitution.
Well, it's a lot of these alphabet agencies. It just seems like it's every 10 years. It's something with one of these alphabet agencies. Can they do any good? The biggest things these people have done are things that are horrible and abhorrent. I mean, look at the ATF. Look at they're putting the guy in charge of that. They're trying to put the guy in charge of that. The same guy who did Waco. The same guy.
There's always been those who are attacking liberties, but not necessarily being co-opted by a political force. The FBI was purely political force.
Absolutely.
The IRS, you know, back when they're going after denying tea parties, their tax exempt. Yes, that was being co-opted by a political force. That's the time to shut it down.
Absolutely.
Defund it, close it up, sell off the assets, and build a new institution from scrap. That's the only way you get rid of all those civil servants that are corrupted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise they just get reassigned. You got to zero out their budget. That's the only way to kill them.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got off on my rabbit trail there, but yeah, I mean, Kevin, you nailed it there.
Kevin, can you get the singing gals on our show for us? Because we
oh my gosh.
I can do that.
I can talk to them next time I see them.
Okay, I don't want to sound like I'm overplaying. I got the girls that are starting politics.
Oh, no.
Awesome.
It was the watch party in 2012, the Santorum campaign.
Santorum,
now, I had met Kamel when we brought Santorum to ORU. And
okay, so that's when she first wrote this. That's when she first wrote the.
Well, it was she and Kamel and I can't remember Haley. Yes. They just the night before the primary, they just real quick, came up with this thing, ran a video, showed up at our watch party, and wanted to play the song. They ended up going to Santorum's campaign in Missouri and Louisiana and Mississippi, and just joining the national team on that. But yeah. And since then, my wife and I have gone out to see some of their shows at some of the restaurants.
There's some good kids, man. They get some good kids, and they definitely have some really good music. And just getting a chance to get to know them, and they came over to the house.
They have parents who really believe in their kids and really are hands-on fostering and building up their kids. Yeah. David and his wife are just fantastic. Parents and pastors, and Kamel and they're just and Haley. That's just two of several kids in the Harris family, and they're refugees from California as well.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I'm glad we can steal that from California.
Yeah.
What I've done is I've gone to the 3D. Well, you guys are vamping for me. Great job, guys.
We're rambling on. You want us to ramble some more? We can.
Well, Janelle says I could be the fourth D because my name is Drew. I go by Drew, so she said I could be the fourth D. So whenever I come on, if the other D is here, then we have 4 Ds. Then we enter a new dimension of awesomeness.
We don't have to have Ds, but again, it kind of works that way.
Right.
I am uploading, like if everything crashes in the mothership, you'll know why. I went to the Facebook page of 3D Politics Live and am uploading the video that I couldn't play. It is of Wallmeyer talking about his beard and etc. The other one I'll upload is Jackson Wallmeyer introduces General Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn talks a little bit about the election fraud, and he explains it's not a conspiracy theory. This is stuff we witnessed at 2 o'clock in the morning. They started taping windows and
absolutely
they saw the ballots. It wasn't like we're in dream world not seeing this stuff. We literally saw it. He went on to talk about the grassroots local action. He talks about local action has national impact.
Yeah.
And when I grabbed my selfie with him and handed him my card, that's exactly what I told him was, this is what I'm doing locally to have the national impact.
Absolutely.
Because we bring in Kevin Batts, Willie Montague. I continue to try to get this Lombardi in from Chicago. Tommy McKay, your fine host of Verbal Biking, joined every week, typically with David Van from SoonerPolitics.org. Our special guest tonight, Kevin Batts with 46 TV and Red River TV. So we Kevin and I were both at the Freedom Rally. We're going to talk more about that as we wind out the bottom end of the hour here. If you guys want to close us out, anything before we bring up the top of the hour? Kevin, can you stick around for another half hour?
Yes, sir, I can.
Hang tight.
We'll just turn off the video, stay in the meeting.
In fact, I can just, I'm going to turn off your video, Kevin, and I'll ask you to in just a minute. And I'm going to stop my video. the American Constitutional Republic, affairs of state in Oklahoma, the beliefs, principles, opinions, and views of people just like me. This is 3D Politics. Featuring me, your fine host, Tommy McKay, humorist and former mayoral candidate. As usual, David Van, SoonerPolitics.org, and joining a special guest tonight, Kevin Batts. Let's ask him to start his video. We'll bring him in. There he is. Way to go, guys.
All right.
Good job. We managed that break quite well. If I could just get my other tech to work.
Hey, Kevin, I just want to say, behind the scenes shop talk, I've been trying to encourage you to get something like this going over there in Oklahoma City. And I know you've tried. I know it's a number of things chemistry wise. But, you and I go back to 2015. Sooner Politics just got started up. Randy Brockton just got elected party chairman. And, you were still in the state then before you took a hiatus to Texas. But I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you've really focused in on video as a medium. What brought about that?
Well, I can say it's my wife mainly. We started off writing together, and we were both writers back when you could build a blog by just writing stories, and you could build an audience. You really can't do that anymore as good as you used to be able to. But we started writing, and then eventually we moved on to video, and the videos were not good at first. And she just stayed on me about these videos being good, and she wanted to be just as good. And she'd show me all these different YouTubers and different personalities. And I wanted to look like this. Why can't it look like this? Mm-hmm. And so I had to just learn how to do it. And over time, I developed a passion for it. And it's become my passion now just to go and tell people stories. Because a lot of times you go to the media, you don't get the full story. And so that's what we're focusing on with the number of shows that me and Janelle will be doing. We're working on some documentaries right now, like we're doing the one right now with Haley and Camille. And we're going to be moving on to other stories of other individuals going throughout Oklahoma. There's an individual named Howard Hatcher, Dr. Howard Hatcher out of Tulsa, and he does Color Free America. We just finished our documentary with him. We're going to be working with him on some other things as well. Yeah. And we're going to be interviewing somebody else. Most of these individuals out of Tulsa, I hope you know that something crazy is going on in Tulsa. The level of activism going on in Tulsa right now is just off the charts. But we're going to be telling a lot of stories of individuals, and a lot of them are out of Tulsa, and highlighting them and showing them to the rest of the state, saying, look what this person's doing, and people that they can support, and also just people that they can just spread the word about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just I did a blog Saturday. I couldn't be with you guys, but radio legend and conservative talk radio here in Tulsa, Eddie Huff said, hey, come on over, join me for blog. Oh, wow. And he's got a blog called Fresh Black Coffee. That's fantastic, And so I'm telling you, people just don't want to stay silent anymore. No. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down fighting. We're going to go down speaking loud, speaking persistent, speaking plainly and boldly. That's just what it's got to be.
Jackson has his podcast. What about Adrian Otap? I think he's got a thing as well, right? Doesn't he still do stuff?
He has. Adrian really specializes in live coverage of political events. I tell you, the BLM riots and the protests downtown Oklahoma City and even down in Lawton, Adrian, and then the Second Amendment stuff. He's gotten with Tim Harper. They've got some fantastic. There's some great people, and you just do what you do. Do it well. Don't try to be someone else. Well, right? Wouldn't you say, Kevin?
Oh, special guest coming in.
There's my lady. Oh, don't leave us, Janelle. Come on.
Oh, no, she's leaving. She got to take care of the kids.
You see, and that's the thing. You guys can do video. You're a pretty photogenic couple, That's why.
Thank you. It's not me, it's her.
Well, yeah. But it's great. And I just love the fact that you guys, didn't try to find some cookie cutter deal. You just experimented till you found what was you.
Oh yeah. And that's what you got to do. You got to find your voice, and it may not be like everyone wants to be in front of the camera. Everyone wants to be in charge or whatever. And you just got to find your niche, and I think my niche right now is putting people in front of the camera and making them look good, and trying to do better. Like, I want to have Netflix quality video on demand type site where people can go and they can view conservative content.
Yeah.
And where we put out the truth, and it's just a straight full story with no edits or anything.
Kevin,
that's really what we aim for.
Did you get a chance to meet Brian Schodorf, the documentarian that was in there?
Oh yeah, the guy's freaking awesome. And like I told him, the problem I face when I'm, out running around is, I do need people that I can get guidance from in the film community. But the problem with that is a lot of the the videography community is very liberal. So that's what I told him. I said, when I talk to people that are doing things that I want to do, and I show them my reel, because you got to be able to show them your reel, your work, the stuff you've done. They never get back with me because my reel is basically me interviewing conservatives, and they can't see past that. So they don't want to help me grow as a videographer. So it's been a struggle to try to get someone to kind of take you under their wing and say, hey, do this, don't do this, or this is where you should be moving with your career.
Hey, Tom, I got to jump in and sign off, guys. I got 4 grandkids, have an 8 o'clock bedtime, and so I'll let you guys finish out the rest of the show. Right?
All right.
All right. To be in here, I don't think I even have a mic. I don't even think I have a mic. My mic is barely working.
Your mic is barely working? Oh my goodness.
You see how? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you coming loud and clear, man?
Well, I'm not seeing anything light up. Let me try this. I've got.
Let me check the stream.
Well, I don't know. I'm having all sorts of problems. I don't see that my screen is seeing me talk. Also, so I have, for our viewers in retrospect, I am uploading the videos that I edited to the 3D Politics Facebook page. So if you go to our 3D Politics page, one of them is up, another one is getting there now. And the first one was of Lawmeyer outside at the event on Friday, and then General Flynn outside on the event on Friday. So I was excited to see how many people were there, and you mentioned earlier in the show while I was struggling on tech, the vendors. Tons of vendors. When I showed up, they thought I was a vendor. I had to tunnel underneath become media. So the idea of not being media was just, abhorrent to me. No, I was pleased to be in the media room. I was pleased to meet Brian Schodorf, and there's a guy in Oklahoma. You should know of him because you do video. John Lewis was his cameraman and expert lighting guy. He lives here in Oklahoma, I think in the Coweta, Tulsa area, close enough. He's in maybe Coweta, Catoosa or something like. He's close around the Tulsa area. But John Lewis, he's a master in lighting and expert cameraman. He was working with a 6-time Emory Award winner Brian Schodorf. This Brian Schodorf guy, he was really kind of the highlight of the day for me. Sharp character.
What's his name?
Brian Schodorf.
Did I meet him?
You might have. He's fairly liberal guy. He was polite about it, but he is one quick wit, a charming guy, and clearly talented. He's got 6 Emmys. And he's pretty humble about it, even though he knows it's a great thing. But that was a real benefit to meet Brian Schodorf and John Lewis. And the shots we got inside during the presser, hat tip to Schodorf Media Creative, because we borrowed their lights and we were able to beg in right behind them. So hat tip to Schodorf Media Creative, Brian Schodorf. Great pleasure to meet him. And John Lewis is a guy you should get to meet as a cameraman and lighting guy.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to John. We exchanged information. I had no idea that Brian Schodorf dude. I met him. I thought he was a regular camera guy. Like, I don't know. He didn't. I don't know. Well, that's cool. You get to meet somebody like that. I'll have to reach out to him.
6 Emmys. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, doing really good.
2 projects, 6 Emmys. So they essentially had one project where he was noticed and he won an Emmy, and then he swept. And he got 5 Emmys. I think it was on something about the Tulsa race riots. So he is, though, a very talented and experienced creative guy, originally from Kansas. And then he did like a 4 or 5 year documentary of a kid from the projects in Chicago. And he won an Emmy for that, I also believe. But I met John Killian and Josh Wagner, also Eric Zollner very quickly, all from the Lawmeyer campaign.
Yeah, good guys, man. That guy has a solid crew, man. You couldn't ask for a better crew of guys freaking keeping that train running. They keep that train running smooth. It seems like Lawmeyer doesn't have a lot to worry about as far as, because you see a lot of candidates that are you could say going against incumbents and stuff like that, candidates that they say are stretched long, you know what I'm trying to say. But usually they're running on a shoestring budget, and they're doing everything and they're getting wore out. I mean, this guy has a freaking squad with him. So I think they're throwing everything at this but the kitchen sink to take out this flip-flopping senator that we have right now occupying our seat in Oklahoma. So hopefully we can get this guy out of here.
This guy here?
Yes, exactly. Flip-flop Langford. And he identifies as a flip-flop. I don't know if you knew that. So that's his preference as a flip-flop. And if you're ever in Old Navy and you see some flip-flops there, just think Langford.
I think he's just the left flop, isn't he?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, any man that would go up to Washington, D.C. and apologize to BLM and apologize for actually for upholding the Constitution. He apologized to BLM for upholding the Constitution, for going against the January 6th, by trying to contest it. I've
said in my Facebook spats and on my Twitter tirades that gay sex and pedophilia are more outrageous than challenging electors during a presidential.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, the idea that here's the deal. I've argued with communists, straight up communists that are totally opposite of the way I believe, and I can even respect them because they stick to their guns.
At least they're honest.
And they're always communists. But Langford, he said he was going to go up there and represent us. And then there was a big loud bang in the hall, and he changed his mind. Literally, if you can't, the other thing that I have a hard time with is people, they call themselves representatives, and then they get on there and on television and radio, and they say, well, I got up there it was hard because I had to try to do the right thing. Nobody asked you to go up there and make a decision. Nobody asked you to go up there and do anything hard like figure it out. You're a representative. Go do what we told you.
Go do what we told you. You never go wrong with that.
There's nothing you have to figure out like do the right thing. You don't have to figure out what the right thing is. The right thing is represent us like you're supposed to. Tommy McKay here, your verbal Viking, every Monday night on Facebook Live. Tonight, special guest, and thank God he's here, Kevin Batts with 46 TV. Did I do it right?
Project 46. Project46.com.
And Red River TV. If you need some great video for your commercial or your campaign, call Kevin Batts right here. So what else do you want to add? I think that was interesting that the very few media, we were recognized, 3D Politics as media. The Schodorf was, the Carmen Foreman from the Oklahoman was in there, and a gentleman from the Norman Transcript. I didn't get his name, but I saw a Fox 23 car, but apparently they didn't let them in. I don't know why.
Maybe they didn't apply. I know a lot of the times these guys they don't apply the right paperwork or something, they'll show up last minute, think they're going to get in, but then they don't.
That was us.
But,
yeah, because we barely got access at the last second. Because they were running a tight ship. They had a lot of chiefs.
they run a very tight ship over there. But every time we're dealing with the Lawmeyer campaign, we know we got to have our ducks in a row because they're not going to come screwing around.
I appreciate all the professionalism, and I've charged before, so I know what it looks like. They did a damn fine job. One of the things also, and I'm uploading these videos because of my technical difficulties tonight, I'm uploading the videos to the 3D Politics Facebook page. One of them is of Jackson Lawmeyer speaking to the crowd outside on Friday. The next one is General Flynn talking to the crowd on Friday. And one of the great things that Flynn said after he mentioned the grassroots and local action as national impact, he said the most important people on election night are the precinct volunteers. And he talked a little bit more about how it was the volunteers that cheated and also caught them cheating. It's volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely.
The people that cheated and the people that had their eyes on the cheaters were all precinct volunteers. So when, according to General Michael Flynn, the most important people on election night counting ballots are those precinct volunteers. So that was his point about local action gives you national impact is you've got to get involved, become a precinct volunteer so you can watch those ballots. The best thing about what he said, now he also mentioned at the end of his speech the doctrine of the lesser magistrates. You probably know what that is, Kevin, that this is talking about basically also called the militia. We are the lesser magistrates. Local control over local area is what I call it. But this is what he was saying. This is what we've got to get back to. Away from federal control. They're trying to remove the filibuster was another one of Flynn's points. And if they remove the filibuster, they're going to nationalize elections. And there's only two things wrong with nationalists and socialists. And that is that there's nationalists and there's socialists. They have a bad nickname too. But the best analogy he had was a battlefield analogy. Now, this is a man who's literally been in combat. That's why he has more mercy for James Langford than I do. But he said, when you see a person in battle and they freeze up and they're unable to do their job because they are frozen in fear, that's Langford. And he says, instead, it doesn't make him a bad person. It just means you have to recognize it and pull them from the Oklahoma battlefield and get somebody in there like Lawmeyer who won't freeze under pressure. It was a great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a terrific analogy.
Yeah. So I don't have near as much compassion for Langford as
I don't either, because the way I see it is the ship is sinking, the country's being overrun. We're driving off a cliff. All the other analogies you can think of, they're coming after our children. I'm sorry. Now is not the time for you to get in your situation to where you're going to freeze up. I tell lawmakers like this all the time. I'm at the Capitol a lot. Me and my wife are advocating for different things. And I tell people all the time, if you're scared, go home. If you're scared of getting called racist, go home. If you're scared of the left coming after you, go home. We're living in a different time now. We don't have time for you to be up here because you like some title behind your name. We don't have time for that. We're going to lose this country. We don't have time. You got to go home. Just get out of here. Go back to your house. Let somebody else. There are plenty of patriots out here right now on the front lines who are willing to step in your place and do what needs to be done.
Yeah, and again, somebody was making the point, I forget who it was, saying, look, they used to say, this is a different time. They used to say, well, we've got to get out and vote. Well, when you're voting upstream on a Dominion machine, it's literally you could vote your life away and never ever fix it. If they're rigged, there's no reason you're not gonna fix it through a rigged voting machine.
Absolutely, no.
So they've gone off the edge. I do want to get as we close out the last 10 minutes here. I got to get, and now I got promises from a lot of people, but you know how that is. I got to get Dr. Cordy Williams on the phone. He's a DO, osteopathic doctor. He's the guy that came into the press room first, one of the first speakers. Cordy Williams. He's the co-founder of 1776foreverfree.com. The reason I bring him back up again was, as I've said to our listeners, and everybody knows the contrarians that are the three Davids, the only thing I found that we all three in the beginning agreed on was the repeal or the adjustment of prohibition of the 17th Amendment. The 17th Amendment allows James Lankford to run his own popularity contest and then pretend that he's representing the state legislature when he's not. He ran a popularity contest for James Lankford. He's not beholden to the state legislatures, and that is the 17th Amendment. Yeah. And so of all the people I asked the question to, Dr. Cordy Williams, his answer was, I just spoke on that when I was up on stage, because that's one of the main things about getting our control back, bringing back constitutional stuff. So go find Dr. Cordy Williams out there at 1776, the numbers, foreverfree.com. And we're going to try to get Dr. Cordy Williams on. And you are going to try to get those two singing gals on, Kaylee, and what's her other?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because we can not only play they don't have to do it live. We have such fine tech here. We'll just share a video. They might have to do it live. And Lee Dundas, I got to get her on the show as well. She's a human rights attorney, and you just point her and she goes, man. She is amazing. So what else before we got a couple of people I met, but what else before we get out of here?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess follow Red River TV, and you know what? Support 3D Politics and share the things they have going on. If you like things that conservatives are doing, share their stuff. Don't just like it. You need to like it, share it, comment. We got to be able to beat this algorithm. And also, if you can find a way to support what patrons are doing financially, do that. If you watch someone's show on a weekly basis, how about pull a little money in the tip jar if they have a Patreon or something like that. Support conservative media. It's time for us to put our money where our mouths are. Me and my wife, we try to support a lot of patriot organizations and patriot shows and things like that. Share them with your friends. Tell your family about them. These are things that we need to do to beat the censors. Indeed. Until we get, these things fixed at the federal level with the laws and these people, we got to do this.
That's right. And also, if you're interested in being a guest on 3D Politics, contact me at verbalviking at gmail.com. Find me at 3D Politics on Facebook. You can catch me on Twitter at Tommy McKay. If you are running a campaign, if you've got something political that you're doing, we had Debbie Robinson in last year with the against mask mandates, etc. She was on with Clay Clark. We had all 5 mayoral candidates last summer. So also contact me if you want to be on the show, and we'll see if we can work out a way to work you in. So Kevin, that's a great point. Protect your stuff. The couple of people I met just sharing the experience. I met a guy named Jim Nicolotti. He runs Galaxy. It's a limousine and executive charter service. So check out Jim Nicolotti at Galaxy. And then also Ridgefire. I want to have this guy on, and his name is David Schmidt. It's all about global renewable fuels. And I want to talk to him about hydrogen batteries, where the waste product is H2O. Sounds
wow. Sounds awesome.
Sounds like a winner to me. So once again, before we get out of here, thank you, Kevin Batts, for being here.
It was fun.
Man, I appreciate it because my tech trouble really dropped some of the minutes out of my show. David Van, thanks for being here. Oldham, you better get back. Thanks to Lawmeyer for all of the kindness, legitimizing us there at the rally. Thanks to Shodorf. That was great fun. And Josh Wagner for making sure it was all right. And I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out. But a great fun time was had by all. And I'm sure we'll see everybody again next week on Monday night, 7 p.m. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.